Ratchet and Clank walkthrough, so we are finally here at the Altanis orbit and getting ready for our final showdown with Captain Qwark. But before we get to do that, we have to do a lot of level stuff, and this is a pretty lengthy level because this is a pretty lengthy world, and I think the only thing we actually do here is defeat Captain Qwark, and then we go on to the next one. Now, even though it's pretty lengthy, there is a point a little bit over halfway where an elevator will take you back to your ship, and I also have no idea where the checkpoints are. Since it's pretty long, I would assume that about halfway through the initial areas there's a checkpoint, but for all I know, you go all the way back to the beginning of your ship. So the first thing it's going to show you is that you need to blow up these towers, and you get a little bit of lag there, which is pretty funny because it's running on the PlayStation 3. I wonder if that lagged on the PlayStation 2 or not. I don't know. But you're going to need to blow up those towers to take out a couple of force fields that will be barring our way, and it's going to let you know you're going to need a Devastator or some other weapon that I missed the name of to be able to take them out. And the Devastator you should already have by now because I bought it many levels ago, and it's come into many uses, so this shouldn't be an issue. There's a few boxes over here in the corner as well as some health in case you lost any. It should be pretty difficult to lose any health against these guys because, or against most of these enemies, just because they're not that, trying to think of the best way. They're not really that threatening, and that's gonna be the case for the rest of this game until we get to where there's some elite enemies which aren't even that much more difficult. They're just kind of, they're just different. But anyway, these guys are like any other flying enemy. They fly around to see you and then slowly jump on down and try to attack you, which is just great. And then we get to run into these suited aliens once more. Now I can't remember, I think I kill most of them before they get the chance, but I can't remember if they shoot those, the lava blasts at the bottom or those acid blasts that follow the ground, or if they just shoot rockets at you. But either way, just take him out with what you can, and like I've said before, it seems in a lot of points in this game it's better use just to stay back and kind of take things out one by one than it is to rush in and try to take them all out at once. But anyway, there's a lot of boxes in this area, lots of health, or not health, but lots of ammo and bolts for you to collect, and then we'll be continuing on when I'm done breaking the boxes. And then there'll be yet another tower you'll need to destroy with your Devastator, and then we're going to run into an interesting new concept of an enemy, and that's these enemies that are forever in these turrets. So what they're going to do is just fire at you, but they can only fire at you about 180 degrees. As soon as you get behind them, they basically lose. You can whack them with anything, and they don't turn around. I thought maybe here he'd start turning his big turd around, but nope, he doesn't. He just kind of looks around like an idiot. So you have to run up to them and whack them once with your wrench, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. So here's yet another gate we're going to be using the Trespasser for. This is the solution that I needed to get through it, and once that opens up, we can destroy a couple of more towers. I think there are 2 more parts in this level where we're going to be using the Trespasser, so be prepared for that. Now this guy is a little bit strange. He's going to shoot at you no matter what, but he shouldn't really hurt you if you're quick enough. All you have to do is jump up here, and he can't shoot this high, so the only thing you have to worry about is taking out those dragon whatever robot enemies. Then you can climb down this other staircase and take them out from behind and get health if you need it. Luckily, I didn't need it, and then we're going to be running into yet another Devastator. Or sorry, Trespasser. So that's the solution for my Trespasser for this door. Not another Devastator. That'd be pretty bad if you're stuck in the Trespasser, then you got blown up by a Devastator. So anyway, now there's a pretty big, well, pretty lengthy part of the level from now on. We won't be running into another Trespasser for a couple of minutes. So this turret, the way to deal with him is just to jump down into here, but then you're going to be running into these guys who will try to shove you full of acid, and I think I just used the Glove of Doom to take them out, and you can just jump over them, then, you know, throw the Glove of Doom at any moment, and that kills them pretty quick. Then you can get behind this guy, take him out, and that's it for that turret. Now in this area, there's going to be even more of these flying enemies, so they're not a huge problem. Just take them out one by one, and they can't jump if they're on the ground, so they're pretty easy to pick off when they funnel themselves here into this little hallway. And that guy, for some reason, was not wanting to die, but eventually he did. And now you're gonna run into these explosive canisters, and you notice you shoot that explosive box and then all the canisters blow up. Now a few times you'll be able to use the canisters to damage some enemies, but unfortunately I don't really think there's a whole lot of time, there's not a whole lot of times where we can actually use them to lure enemies into them and take them out completely. But anyway, you'll see that in a minute or two. You'll want to take out that tower, but you need to stand back a little bit a ways just so you can actually hit it, and then that'll take down that force field. I wouldn't recommend using your Devastator ammo if you don't have to here, but at this point I would say you have to because that thing is pretty tough. For some reason that stupid rocket didn't want to hone in on him, so yay. And the reason you want to keep your Devastator ammo is because if you don't have that other weapon that can destroy the towers, well, you're gonna have to go all the way back to buy Devastator ammo so you can. But for that guy, I would say the Devastator is worth it because he can be extremely annoying if you don't pick him off from far away. And that's just kind of how it works. But anyway, as long as you always have more than about 10 Devastator ammo, you should be fine with this world. And there's even more guys here, so I think I end up even losing more Devastator. But luckily, you do get more, so it's not the end of the world. But at this point, if you're running out, then I don't even know what you're going to be doing. Now, these guys shoot rockets at you that blow up on the, ground there until they finally make it high enough to blow up on you. So I thought it was kind of cool, like, oh, those rockets aren't going to be able to hit me, and then it hit me and took a hit of damage, so that's just nice. But there's health inside that room I was just in, and there's even more health outside of here, so even if you did take some damage, you should be fine. Here's a lot of those explosive canisters that you can shoot, and unfortunately a lot of them aren't close enough to start a chain reaction, otherwise I thought that guy would have taken more damage, and even then he's not really close enough to take a whole lot of damage from them to begin with. So these canisters, while kind of cool, they're not really that useful as far as explosive ability goes. And then there's a big old group of boxes here that just has ammo and health and more bolts, and it's just kind of nice when that happens. So you do pick up 2 Devastators there, which helps a little bit with the Devastators that you had to use to take out those ships. Then you can climb on into the elevator. Now here is a checkpoint, so if you die here, you'll just respawn in this room, so that is good news. And I did die a bunch of times doing parts of this because there are a few tricky places where acid is the only thing that will greet you when you fall, and you see the acid falling and rising right there. That is where, that's what I mean. So if you touch that acid, it kind of acts like lava in Super Mario 64, where you take a hit of damage and then you jump around for a second, and then if you fall right back onto it, you'll take another hit of damage. So you don't die immediately, which is good, but you don't want to take any more damage than you need to. So take out those enemies whichever way you want to, then jump over, and there will be a big acid pool in this room, and this room will cover up a couple of the platforms as it's rising, and this middle platform will stay safe, obviously. So all you have to do is jump to it in time, of course, and you probably could jump all the way to that platform and take a hit of acid and then make it if you wanted to get through it quickly, but there's no reason to do that. Now here's a pretty strange swing shot place, so you need to make it, you need to swing when the acid is low enough so you don't take any damage. Now I didn't do that, so I took a damage, and then I took another damage from this stupid guy. Now luckily that one got killed by his buddy, so that was really nice, and then I almost get hit by that guy there. And then I think my other Glove of Doom took him out. So that wasn't that big of an issue, but that can be kind of annoying when you have to jump onto a crowded platform and deal with 3 enemies all of a sudden. Now here you'll be using your Magna Boots to walk onto this this magnetic platform, and that acid is going to rise and lower on these lower dips of the platform, so it's pretty obvious. Just walk down when the acid is going down and make it to the other side before the acid comes up. This one's a little bit lengthier than the last one, so you'll just want to go quickly, kind of hug the corner there, and you should be able to make it no problem. And then in here, you can't shoot anything when you are on the magna place, so first you need to get off of it, then you can blow up a couple of these canisters and try to take him out, and that's exactly what I did. And this is the room that killed me a bunch of times, so you need to use something that has far firing abilities. In my case, I think the only thing I have is the Devastator, and you need to blow up all of those canisters there. The blaster has just a short enough range where it can't do it. Then you're going to need to wait for the acid to go down or start going down. I didn't wait quite long enough, and you want to just glide onto that platform. And luckily I got hit there, and that actually boosted me all the way to this platform. But the correct way would be to glide onto the platform and then boost with Ratchet, or boost with Clank up to the top. If you forgot how to boost, you'll probably want to do that before you make the jump, just so you don't end up dying. But as you saw, the acid can actually boost you all the way to that platform if you're desperate. And here we'll be getting a little bit more crowded. It's not terrible, but you'll just want to, check your corners, make sure that you're not getting surprised by anybody. There's 3 of those enemies over here, and we're going to need to be going onto that staircase in a second to shoot off the tower, which is keeping up that force field. So I'm looking around like, okay, there should be a tower here, and I jump up here, and when you turn around, you should be able to see it. There's also a Gadgetron vendor here, which is extremely nice. I don't believe this is a checkpoint. I don't think I died from this point onward, so I don't actually know, but anyway, stock up on ammo if you need it, more importantly the Devastator ammo than anything else. And then you'll want to come back a little bit toward that railing so you can turn around and shoot that tower. And then that force field will be taken down, and we'll be able to get to the later 3rd or 4th of the world here. And then you're going to want to be using your Devastator ammo once again. So luckily those rockets kind of get interrupted by that guy, or by the explosive canisters there. And he won't shoot at you if you're on this second step, so if you step on it you should be able to use your Devastator ammo pretty well there. Now I think he actually did take a shot at me at the end there, so maybe he can shoot at you, but he doesn't seem to be as interested as he would be if you were on top of the platform. But once you take him out, the doors will open. You'll see more of those flying enemies and a few more of these weird canisters, so just blow them up. It's really best to take care of the canisters before you walk into an area, because you don't want to run into one or accidentally hit it and then die to something stupid like that. And then kill a few more boxes, and there's going to be a huge row of these turret guys here. Now there's going to be 6 more we'll be running into, but these 3 we can take out, the other 3 we cannot. So to take out these 3, now you can walk past this if you want to, but the other way is just to take out these 3 by opening up this room with the Trespasser, and in a second here, as soon as I stick the Trespasser in, my solution for this door will be on the screen. And then you'll be able to attack all 3 of them and take them out inside of this room that opens up, and then you don't have to deal with them. Sadly, this row of explosive canisters doesn't actually blow them up like I hoped it would. I mean, that would have been, that was a missed opportunity. I'm gonna kill them anyway, so why not just have all the canisters be right next to the guys where I can shoot them, and then a big chain reaction takes them all out for me. I mean, come on. Anyway, once you do that, then you can walk on out, and I don't know why that doorway doesn't open. I mean, whatever. But walking out, and then you want to come to the other side, and this is where the checkpoint is going to be soon. First off, where you can go back to your ship if you want to do another world or something. And this is also going to be kind of a tricky place, because there's going to be a lot of these guys, a lot of these flying guys, and then one more of those kind of acid spewing guys, or 2 of those acid spewing guys. And then there's going to be a couple of ships that are going to come down and attack you. Now, I used Glove of Doom here to try to go after those acid guys, because I didn't think those flying guys would swoop down to attack them, but a few of them did, so that was kind of weird. But anyway, my Glove of Doom did its work, and if you step onto this platform, then you'll be able to, or not this platform, but there's a platform around here. If you step on, it'll take you to and from your ship. And then when you walk closer to this wall, then it'll open up, and there will be 2 explosive rocket ships that will be in your way. Now if you jump all the way back here and then kind of go around this corner and get them to stop attacking you, then you can shoot them with the Devastator from afar. If you need more ammo, you can just go back to your ship to get it, and then that's the end of them. Now this is also the level where I would consider buying the decoy glove. I tend to underestimate the power of the decoy glove, but in this game, I especially underestimated it, because when I played a crack in time, there were some times where the decoy glove was the only reason I lived, and at this point, it's one of the only reasons that I got past here without taking a whole lot of damage. So, you'll notice when you'll remember that I mentioned that there's 6 of those turret guys. Well, here are those other 3, but there's no way to kill them, and if you get too close, they're all going to start shooting at you. So if you put down the decoy glove, 1 or 2 of them will start shooting in that direction, especially if you put down another, and then you should be able to boost past the 3rd one, no problem. Even if you take 1 damage, it's not a big deal. Then you can step into the elevator, and we will pretty soon be reaching Captain Qwark here, which is probably one of my favorite boss fights in this game. First of all, though, we have to deal with a massive room filled with enemies, but because the room is so massive, the enemies aren't a big deal. Once you walk off that magnet part, then you can come down here and just toss down a whole lot of gloves of doom, and you're gonna get a little bit of lag doing this, at least I think I did. And just glove of doom everything. You really want to stock up on that before you come down here. And your main worry is going to be those acid spewing guys, not so much these flying guys. Now the flying guys are going to be an issue just because there's all these spawners that are lying around, and I think I end up missing 2 of them, and I can't really figure out why they kept spawning, but you'll see that in a second. So this guy, I took him out because he was the last one, and then all of these flying guys for some reason wanted to just go huddle into that corner over there. And a lot of them didn't seem to have a whole lot of interest in actually attacking me, but I put down Glove of Doom to try to take out as many of these as I could, and I thought they'd all start coming after me, but they just kind of keep walking into that wall. I have no idea what was going on here, but some of them did finally attack me when I took out the spawner. And then I'm wondering, where the heck are all these guys coming from? And in all the chaos, I'd missed 2 more spawners that were kind of in plain sight in the video, which is kind of weird when you rewatch the video. It's like, how on earth did I miss those? But when you're playing and you're focusing on other stuff, it's weird how that happens. So, and then I turn around, there's so many more, and they're not even interested in me. They're all just walking toward the wall for some reason. I mean, 1 or 2 of them was going after me, but I don't know what that was about. Now, you do need to destroy every enemy in this room for the doors to open. If you don't, then they obviously won't open, so try to keep your health high. I think there's still health over there if I didn't pick it up already. And once I clear up these guys, that'll be it for this video.
Hello, Captain Ratchet. Come and get me, hero!
Perhaps we could obtain a ship in there.
Great idea. Let's go.